So this week we're going to be jumping into episode 2 of Rise of the Sovereign as we pick up our story just outside of Waterdeep in the town of... What was the name of the town? Pop quiz for the players. What town are you in?
Undercliff.
Undercliff. Very good. Very good. Vimic wins. All right, so while the adventure ended and began last week in Undercliff, tonight we're going to go and we're going to start inside Waterdeep, which is what we see here. Now, Waterdeep is the giant city, is the capital of Faerun. It is the largest city, and one of the things that we see in the city, we see the giant griffins flying over. Those are the town's guard, right, the griffins. And, you know, it is a place of law and civility. And it is at this place that also the infamous in the Yawning Portal is home in Waterdeep. Now, this is a tavern that is well known. It has a giant like pit in the middle of it, like this well that people can actually go down and adventure into the Underdark. It is a place for adventurers from all over the realms to come and to find leads for adventure and for treasure and to just. It's a way for mercenaries and adventuring groups to come together. It's one of the most popular sites in Waterdeep, and that is where we're going to begin tonight, as it is the morning after Fey Day, which is the basically the Faerunian Halloween. It actually comes on during the spring equinox. It's the day that the Fey world and the mortal world, they come very close together on the spring equinox, and all of the citizens, they get together, they laugh, they enjoy, they party, there's a big festival, there's parades, people dress up in costumes, the nobles open up the gates and let all the common folk in to feast and enjoy in the merriment of Fey Day. And it is the morning after Fey Day, and Corden Acosta, who will be a human, who is played by our friend Wes, you wake up on the floor of the Yawning Portal after a night of drinking and partying and having a good time, and as you wake up near the door, you can see the sun like creeping in. As you wake up, you look around and you see other people are kind of waking and stirring, and while people don't normally just pass out at the floor of the Yawning Portal, the morning after something like this, people party all night and just kind of you sleep where you lay, kind of thing. So you have woken up and you look around and you see lots of mercenaries and adventurers starting to stir and go, and you're kind of woken up by hearing all the footsteps of people running around. There's a lot of commotion as groups seem to be gathering both inside the tavern and outside the tavern as well. So with that, you kind of wake up, you pick yourself up off the floor, a little hungover from the night before, but you've lived in Waterdeep for long enough. You know how to hold your liquor. You're okay. You're just another day, another festival. So with that, what would you like to do?
I normally am at the like university type thing.
Correct. So normally you stay at the university. There's several around town, but there's one university you stay at. You also stay near the Emerald Enclave as well, since you are a member of that guild. There's guild houses that you can actually stay at. So there's several places that you normally stay near the Emerald Enclave, but you study at the university as well. This is just different. So
now, am I back here to give the news that I recently found out to?
No.
Okay, so I'm just happen to be back in town for some reason.
Yeah, you just happen to be back in town. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to kind of backstep just a little bit. So with that, you wake up, like I said, you see all these people kind of marshaling about, getting together. You see people putting on gear, grabbing swords, things of that nature.
Okay, so this is a little odd. Is there
about
about to
this
be
early in the morning? Yeah.
Is there about to be a big group leaving? Is there somebody I see nearby?
You do. You look over and you see a very large individual, burly man, bald head, a bluish tattoo on the side of his face, getting ready to go. Grabs this giant great sword, and he's talking to some adventurers, and they seem to be getting ready to go out hunting.
I'm going to say, you, big man, what's going on?
Yes? Oh, well, haven't you heard? Adventure! There's great adventure outside the city. It seems last night these monster beasts came and ravaged the lands, and the nobles here are paying bounties, so we are going to go and collect coin.
Okay. I'm going to look around for anybody. Is this my uncle's establishment?
The establishment that you're in now, no. This is a tavern. Your uncle owns Hathamore Manor, which is outside of town in Undercliff. It's like this manor that overlooks the town itself.
Oh, so this is actually in Waterdeep?
You're in Waterdeep. This is the Yawning Portal. This is like a legendary tavern that you're in.
So this is where the university is. So
correct.
This is okay. So I guess what exactly happened? Do you know?
We don't know, but apparently there's lots of, they were hunting apparently livestock and horses. Now, I haven't heard if there's a lot of people that actually been injured, but we are going out to hunt these beasts, these big cat-like creatures we've been hearing about. Like good coin to be made.
I'm interested in the whole cat-like thing. I'm like curious if this is something from nature. So I'm curious. I'm just gonna follow along.
Okay, as you kind of get up and you look around, and you grab your belongings that you had at the tavern itself. You put on your pack. You look around. You walk outside the tavern itself, and you look and you see several adventuring groups getting together, rousing, getting their horses, getting their gear, strapping on armor. And normally there are adventuring groups here, and like in the evenings, or like people are coming together, getting bounties or things of that nature. But this is like they are marshaling to go leave the city and quell whatever happened last night. As you begin looking around, you see like a big like gold dragonborn putting on his half plate armor and grabbing like this giant sword, and you see several small little kobolds with him, and they're all getting ready, like getting their bows and everything ready. Like there's several hunting parties ready to go outside the gates.
Do I see anybody familiar? Anybody that I know?
You look around and you don't see any members of the Emerald Enclave who you normally hang out with. You were actually drinking with one of them last night, and he seems to be gone.
I'm gonna kind of wander between the groups and see if I hear anything interesting.
You look around and you do see that there's several groups that are getting ready. One of the Dragonborn in particular, you see him, you hear him barking orders that they're going to go out past Undercliff. There seemed to have been, the word is that there was actually a casualty in Undercliff.
Oh, now that I'm very interested in, because that's where I'm from.
Right.
And I might know them.
So Undercliff, while it is outside, just outside the city, it still has a small town feel where like all the residents. Now tons of people come in and out, but you still know everyone that's there.
I'm going to ask somebody if the incursion happened towards the town.
I believe just outside the town, some horse farmer. Now that rings a bell, yeah. So you know that the horse. There's a big stable in town that's just on the other side of your manor that you're from.
How far is the town from?
A few minute walk. I mean, really, like 20-30 minutes.
I'm going to turn into the fastest thing I know and take off.
Sure. All right. So with that, you turn into you can turn into like cheetah. And you can just take off. Okay, so you immediately meld into this cat and just take off down the road. And within a few moments, you turn the corner, and on the right hand side, you look, and where normally there's lots of like sheep that graze just outside the hill on these hills, you look and you just see carcasses of these sheep. There's just blood and guts guts everywhere, and you don't see, there are no bodies of humans or anything like that. It's just sheep just torn up all over the fields.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep running.
You continue to run, and as you get closer to town, you look, and one of the biggest establishments in town, like the center point of the town, is the tavern itself. It's run by the Snow Beetle clan, which is a halfling clan. It's called Beetles. And you run by, and if there's any information to be gathered, it would be here. Now, as you go, you run up, and you immediately you kind of like stop and you halt as you're looking around in cat form, and there seems to be this very large individual blocking the door of the tavern itself. It's just massive, like it looks like this giant fat oaf that can barely fit through the door. But you do see that he has a crossbow bound behind his back, but he's blocking the entrance and seems to be talking to someone on the inside.
I'm gonna shift back and.
Okay, so you pull back up. Now you're in full human form. Okay, so what would you like to do?
I'm going to say, "You there?" See if he get his attention.
All right, he kind of like takes a half step back. You see his big like boot. He's got like big black boots that have like the pirate like top on the back of it. You know, the cuff. He takes a step back and he turns and looks. And as he turns, you realize that he's not a big fat guy. He's actually looks like a turtle that's wearing like a duster, and he's got like a tri-rim hat and he's smoking a pipe. And he goes, "Yes, my name's Walker. Who are you?"
I'm from here. These are my friends. What seems to be going on here?
Well, there's been a murder.
And you... Where do you come from? I've never seen this guy, right?
No. Well, I was hired by Miss Amberwood. Her son seems to be the victim of the crime. Now, you know Miss Amberwood. She's the apothecary that lives outside of town, and her son, Maury, you actually know. And he did work at the stables.
Is she inside?
No. Well, you're looking around. As you peer in the door, just inside, it kind of like goes L shape on the inside of Beetle's Tavern. You look in, you see a Goliath sitting on the floor in the corner, kind of like being like kind of coming to, and you look over and you do see inside the tavern itself, you see your uncle's one of his servants, which is this dwarf named Lorix. You actually see him on the inside.
I'm gonna make my way in, and is the turtle in the way, or is
no? He lets you in. He's a very gentleman turtle.
Okay. I'm gonna go in, and what do I see? What's happened in here?
Now you look around, and this is a similar scene to what you just bolted out of the yawning portal. People have been obviously partying, having merriment all night, and everyone's kind of getting roused off the floor. You see halflings are getting breakfast together and all those things, and they're actually pulling together drink orders and things of that nature. So you see several of the halflings are moving about, and you see Lorix is kind of sitting up and just kind of like getting his things together.
Oh, so there's no like altercation or anything.
There's no altercation. No, this is just another.
Just a bunch of drunk people waking up. All right, got it.
Yeah.
I thought that there was something here, so I'm gonna once I look around and see this, I'm just gonna leave and see if I can go to the mother of the person that I know.
Okay.
Do I see him as he?
Yeah, you see him stick his head in and look around and then turn.
Gordon.
Yes.
His name's Gordon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, y'all two know each other.
So
I stand up and I kind of clap the Goliath on his shoulder and I bring him over and we go over to Gordon. Gordon, you're back.
Yeah, I just heard that Amberwood's son has died.
Maury was his name.
Murdered?
Maury.
Yeah, we've tried to get more information about it. They're investigating this. Our new Goliath friend has been helping out.
I'm gonna look at the large fellow and say, "Pleased to make your acquaintance."
Oh. What's your name? Corden?
Corden.
Corden. Ah.
What do we
Meet
know?
you.
This is Corden. This is Miles' nephew.
Miles. Oh, Clapper.
Who?
Man who does nothing but clap. And people do things for him. Clapper.
Yes, that seems appropriate.
Yes. He's very good at that. I need to figure out how he does that.
I don't much like his clapping.
It works better when there are large purses hanging at your belt.
As you are kind of exchanging the pleasantries, you notice that the turtle has left.
No, Walker, no.
By my law.
I'm kind of
It's a strange
a
film.
little shocked here because this is a small town where everybody knows everybody. This is not the kind of thing that happens. So I want to know more about this. I'm not in a talkative mood kind of thing. I want to go find out what happened from her.
Okay. So you start heading out. You see as you quickly leave. You see the turtle is heading up towards the Amcathras, which is the stables. Now you know that the Amcathras are very well known. They're very respected, and also there's just so you remember there is a training ground just north of the city for the city guard, and the Amcathras actually breed and sell horses for the city guard. So a lot of the town security is actually the trainees of the guard itself. Now there is one. You do have a constable, Ivan. He's kind of a retired adventurer that would have been on call during this. As you are heading up, you see the turtle making his way up to the Amcathras, and all of the horses that are normally kind of like all over, they seem to all be back inside the stables. As you get closer, you do see that there is one of the horses has been killed. And its body is laying out there, and you see a stable hand trying to shoo away, some of the vultures and some of the carrion birds and things of that nature. And that's the scene that you're walking up on. Now, as you're doing that, what is Lorix and Vimic? Lorix, what are you doing?
Eating a blizzard, obviously.
Eating a blizzard, mostly. I'm following along with Corden. This is the boss's nephew. I don't feel like I really have any choice but to follow him and help him with what he's clearly emotionally invested, at least, in Moray's death. So I'm going to go help him.
And Vimic?
I'll just fill him in on our encounter from the night before where we were in his manor. I guess his uncle's manor, I should say. And just cries and screaming panic. And
well, he's right there. Fill him in. He doesn't even know.
Yes. Ordered. We were dining with your uncle last night, and we went outside. One of the stable hands was launched through the air. Another one was on the ground, and out of the shadows came these two black cats with tentacles, many legs. And we swiftly put them down, and we went into town to figure out more of what was going on. So far, it seems the only human casualty has been Stable Boy. And livestock just murdered everywhere.
I want to roll a nature check.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see it. It's rolling. I'm used to the thing over here. Yeah. No.
That doesn't sound familiar to you. It doesn't sound like something you've studied in Faerunian lore.
Okay, I want to go up to the
thing
horse.
Is that
Go ahead.
it doesn't seem like Moray was killed by one of those beasts, though. Seems he was killed by something else. Maybe a large.
Is the body
man.
still out here?
Yes, they were waiting for the marshal, the investigator.
I don't completely trust him, so I'm going to go look at it with him.
Okay. As you all are kind of making your way up, you're at the crime scene at this point. You have a couple of other stable hands there. You also have old Hank is there as well, who is the owner, Henry M. Cathra. He's there kind of overseeing this. They've put like a blanket over the body of Maury, and they were just kind of waiting. There's a hand cart that's been pulled up. They've like attached a donkey to the back of it, to wherever they want to move the body after. But they were waiting until Walker got here. And Walker looks over at all of it, and they pull the blanket back, and he sits down and he starts to look over the ground and the body itself. And one of the things about the body is that the body is laying like bent over, but his head is spun backwards, like his neck was snapped. And after looking at it, Barnabas Walker is his name. He looks up and he goes, "Well," he's still got his pipe in his hand. He goes, "It seems that he was bent over whenever something grabbed his neck, like he was investigating something. So it was actually something small that got him. Something very strong, but also small."
I want to.
Interesting.
I want to search the area. What would that be?
Investigation.
Okay. If I'm proficient in it, if it has the dot next to it, it means it gets my proficiency bonus, so it's +5 total.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. 24.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So
You're wasting your time, Corden. There's nothing to find.
No, you do see. In all of the ruckus of the night and everything moving around, as many people as coming through, you see that there's actually a set of footprints that look off. Large boot, not large or small, but the boot itself seems like thick and wide. And as you look down, you see several of these moving towards where the body of Maury is, and then you see it kind of like walk around and then leave. So you actually pick up, even like it's disturbed, but you can see the indentation and the leftover of the footprints of what this was. Like I said, they look like they were metal boots, but they also look thick. Like it's whatever it was, it had large feet but short.
I'm going to look at Walker and say, if I leave here in a hurry, follow me. And then I'm going to shift into a basset hound.
A basset hound. Okay. All right. So now you're...
No, excuse me, a bloodhound.
A bloodhound. Even better. So your ears are kind of dragging on the ground as you go. All right, so you shift down into a bloodhound. Okay, and you start sniffing about. All right.
Yeah.
With that, give me a survival check with advantage.
Okay. So this is going to be +3. So 2 of them. So 22.
Okay. You do pick up a very strange scent that is very unlike anything that should be here.
All right, I'm going to follow it.
Okay. You immediately start following it. Do you give out the the bloodhound howl as you go?
No, I'm just going to look at him and then just keep walking.
We're not playing D&D. We're
Laura's
playing Lady and the Tramp. And
Where the red fern grows.
right.
Lorax kind of throws his hands up in the air. He didn't think Corden was going to find anything anyway. And he sees the dog start running off. He goes chasing after it.
Okay, so
Master Corden, what are you doing?
Okay, so you go charging off into out right outside of town and close to these old woods. And as you're marching up and you've got the scent, you go and you stop immediately because you smell something. Give me an Arcana check.
I am proficient in this.
Nice.
23.
Oh man, Wes showed up and is rolling hot. Okay,
hot.
All right. So you stop immediately because you kick up the scent of like this burnt ozone, like some type of magic was sent here. And as you start sniffing around, the smell that you were tracking has stopped, and it was interrupted by whatever this magic is that you're picking up. It seems like some type of it's very high level magic, and it's almost like some type of like a temporal displacement, like almost like a gate or a teleport type of spell.
Dimension door type.
Something of that nature. Yeah, he jumped. He basically he is not in this. He left this plane.
Okay. I'm gonna shift back because it obviously ends here.
Mm-hmm. But it did lead you to this old wood.
I'm going to. I mean, how far outside of town is this?
You're not that far outside of town. You're actually near these old ruins.
Okay. Is everybody else following me?
Yeah, you look behind and you can see the dwarf and the Goliath kind of chasing after you. Along
Did the
with
turtle
Walker.
stay?
No, the Walker's
okay.
chasing after you too. You've got a lead.
And Vimic is an expert in runes. So.
I am.
Ruins. Ruins.
Oh,
Ruin.
ruins.
Ruins.
Ruins. Depends on where you're from.
Right.
D&D's first rednecks. Yeah.
So I'm just going to kind of walk around and talk out loud and be like, whatever this was, it came from here and it went to the stables specifically. It wasn't a matter of it happened upon them. It came here to go to those stables. What on
Is he
earth?
still a dog?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Droopy. Yeah. Oh gosh.
You think it came straight to the stables to kill him?
It
Leave.
teleported to this location and then walked to that location and attacked Maury. And I'm going to...
Is this where it arrived or where it fled?
Yes, it entered.
Is this the
here.
in or the out?
I'm assuming this is the entrance.
This is the entrance.
Okay. I'm going to look around. Do I know these ruins? Like, am I familiar with them? I grew up here.
You actually are. Your uncle has spoken of it many times and has made many attempts to buy the land from the Amcathars, but has failed. They use this as like extra grazing land and things like that. They've been unwilling
So this
to
is
sell
their
it.
property.
This is their property, yes.
And this thing attacked a place of theirs.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, one thing that your uncle's all into this.
Family.
Your uncle's all about this whole sovereign thing, which you've kind of grown up hearing about, this ancient dynasty, the Baravan dynasty. Apparently, these ruins near here might have been part of the oldest part of Waterdeep. And he's spent several days coming out here. The Amcathars don't mind y'all poking around, but he's been trying to buy it for a long time, has been unable to.
And they're uninterested in money?
They don't want to sell. They like to hold on to the land.
Okay, so they can't be bought, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, they're making good money. It's not about money to them. They just want the land.
This isn't the type of thing my uncle would do.
Man, he's harmless.
Okay. I want to start looking through the area.
Okay. Give me another investigation check. Check that. Give me a nature check.
Okay. 19.
he is on fire, folks. Okay. So what you see now is as you go, you're walking around and you immediately stop because you're looking around and you have been in these woods a lot. Something is off and something has changed. This forest is turning and it feels like it's dying. And this is a very old, healthy, vibrant forest, but it feels like you just look around and the trees look like they're withering.
I say what I'm thinking. Like I'm not one to internal monologue. I'm gonna say, something's off here. Basically, what you're saying is like these trees are dying. This is not right. Something's incorrect here. Any ideas?
I don't know much about these lands, but last night was Fae Day, which was supposedly Fae come out. They're pranksters. It seems harmless. This seems something sinister.
Would nature or arcana be if I were to try to think of anything that would be fitting of Fae that is small, wide, footprints, very strong?
I'll give you a nature check on it.
Nope, not on that one. Too many things. It's only 11.
You could go and ask the Emerald Enclave about it.
Okay. I'm relaying what I think of here to Walker.
Okay.
And I'll ask his... I'm going to see what he thinks.
Well, my first inclination is we should always interrogate the victim himself to see what he saw.
Ooh, does anyone have any magic where they can...
Well, I was going to take him in town and pay for a local to speak to his lost soul.
You also have 2 of the corpses of the cats back at the manor.
Well, I don't know if anybody
You
speaks
intend
cat.
to speak to a dead cat?
No, I meant to...
I've picked up a little feline here and there.
Well, I'm gonna take the poor boy back to town and see what I can learn.
I didn't even think that route of the clergy. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're a very smart man.
All right, and with that, Walker begins heading back over to the
So it's
scene
just
of
the
crime.
3 of us left here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Lorix because he's really the only one I know. And I'm gonna say something is not right here. Let's let's fan out and look for clues.
Split up.
Fan out and look for clues.
Me and Daphne will check out the master bedroom.
I suppose we could search around. Do we want to look through the ruins and see if there's any more clues we can find?
Something is changing nature here, and anything out of the ordinary I'd like to see, but we don't have a lot of time.
All right.
Okay.
You're serious about us fanning out and looking for clues?
I say, you, big fellow, give us the aerial view.
Very well.
All right.
So we spread out and we look for some clues.
Give me just 1 second.
Let me get this right. Lorix is a dwarf.
Correct.
I am a human,
Yes.
and Danny is a Goliath. So we have short, medium, and large.
Right.
We're a party of Russian Mexican dolls.
Okay.
That's what we are.
Well, this way, when we look around the corner, it'll be like
To the
head,
left.
head.
Hello. Hello.
I'll look at Gordon and say, speaking of aerial views, can you not do that? Seem to be adept at...
My training is not quite there.
I don't get a fly speed until level 8.
All right. So
Very
with this,
cool.
Wes, for the sake of argument, we're going to consider this a short rest, so you get your uses of wild shape back. Y'all spend a while just kind of spreading out, looking around the wood, and everything that Corden has pointed out is accurate. The wood seems sick. It seems like it's dying, everything's wilting. Very similar to what you saw at dinner, where all of the arrangements at the table just wilted and died. You're seeing that here as well. Where this
Did it happen suddenly?
Yes. Well, it did at dinner.
At dinner it did.
Huh.
And that's when everything started attacking. The flowers suddenly wilted, and then we heard the sounds of attack outside with the beasts descending upon the town.
Yes. As holidays go, it might be one of the worst I've ever seen. But apparently this is out of the ordinary.
It was okay.
How long would it take me to get to the Emerald Enclave to inquire about this?
You could be there and back in less than an hour.
Well, I'm going to look at them and be like, I will return in a moment. And Cheetah, gone.
Okay.
With the party.
All right, so we've split the party. He's going to head. As he's leaving, what are the two of you going to do for an hour here in the woods?
I'm going to scream at him, be careful, because cats did just maul pretty much every piece of livestock in the village, so be careful in cat form.
Don't turn into livestock. Okay. All right. So with that, all right, so Vimic yells that out as a warning. Lorix, what are you doing?
Start searching, see if we can find a source of this corruption.
Okay.
Or
you meander around the woods.
I guess I would be trying to. I guess I'd be trying to sense if there's an arcane source of it somehow.
Okay.
What might give us a.
As you're walking through the woods, you immediately stop and you look to your right and you see a boulder off to the right. Now, you've been in these woods before, briefly. I
don't remember a boulder being here.
Well, it's not to say it wasn't there. It's just you didn't really spend any time. You weren't looking around, But you turn around and you look at this boulder, and your dwarven sense of knowing about stones. You look at it and you notice that the stone has actually been cut. It is a cut stone, and it's pretty perfectly cut round. And as you look at it, if you didn't know any better, you would say that's like the rock that would have been used on a catapult.
Oh.
Very, very old. It's been here a long time.
Oh, it's been here a really long time?
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I'll search around it, but if it's been here for a really long time, I don't expect to find anything.
You go.
Is it like half buried in the dirt?
Yeah. You're only seeing like the top half of it. It's got moss growing on it. But you just looked at it, and from an angle, you just noticed it's like perfectly cut. Something that would have been used for like a trebuchet or a catapult. Now, as you look around, you're not 20 yards from those ruins that that Miles has been interested in the past.
I'm gonna go take a look, see if there's, see if I can see. Maybe if there's ruins of a catapult stone. Maybe there's ruins of a catapult.
You look around.
Let's
you
go
see
if we can find something.
You kind of disappear. You kind of push through some brush, and you look around, and there's not a lot here. You're talking about the remains of 4 pillars, partly been knocked over. Moss and like different trees and branches are kind of growing over it, but you see those there. You also see the only thing that's really left is like 2 looks like very small buildings that it's just like basically the cutout of the foundation. Like the wall itself may be 3 to 5 feet still standing, but it kind of like goes like this as it goes. Like you're just looking at, you can tell there was something here. In fact, this may have been the inner part of whatever is left, but this is all that's left is this outline of a couple of rooms.
I'm curious if there was like a basement to these what used to be buildings, and whether there might be an entrance that still remains to that. And I search around and like go to where the bottom foundation is of those. And walk in what would have been the door and like look around at the.
Give me an investigation check.
And see if I can find anything. I will give you an investigation check.
He is a dwarf.
I'll give you advantage on the roll because you're a dwarf. So re-roll that.
Ooh.
It's better. Okay.
17.
You can just running your hands over these stones, you know that this is very old work. You also know that if you didn't know any better, it looks like dwarves may have made this. Like it's extremely well made. You had always thought that Waterdeep and all these buildings were made by humans and elves, but this actually looks like dwarven stone, dwarven cut. So the idea that there may be a floor underground, that heightens your belief that it could be, because that would be very very true of a dwarven structure itself.
Very dwarvy.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, I'll get to you in a second. All right. Vimic, are you? You're just with? What are you doing? He's kind of disappeared off in the woods.
He's
I'll be
still
with
yelling.
I'll be with him.
Oh, you're staying with him? Okay. All right, so
My
same
brother
thing. You
and
see
mom.
all of this. While he's looking at the stonework, is there anything that you want to do?
Just maybe. Can I try to figure out what the stone is? Since I don't know, I live in mountains and stone, and I don't know.
You look over.
What the buildings are made of, basically.
Right. It's hard to tell. It's definitely looks like it's rock that would have been cut from here. It looks like it's regional. It doesn't like this was like brought in. But it just looks like your standard stone. It doesn't look like it's not marble or anything like that. As you're looking over the pillars themselves, there's 4 of them, and they seem to be very like perfectly like square, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like like a perfect square. And you look over at those, and you kind of pull back some of the vines and some of the brush on it, and you look at it, and again, very intricately made. But they're very, very old and worn, and there's actually like calcium buildup on the stone itself. So it's very, very old. Okay. So we're gonna pause on that. At this point, you have cheated around all the way back to the Emerald Enclave itself. All right, hold up. Let me pull this up for you.
I'm going to get to one of the druids and be like,
All right. All right, so you head over to what's called Falcon Mirror, which is like this giant like nature preserve almost kind of thing inside of Waterdeep itself. You go in here, and this is where the spirit of Lady Jareth Falcon lives, and her voice can be heard and echoed. Some people have spoken of her appearing, but normally it's just a voice that you hear that kind of echoes about this place. As she's reached demigod status at this point, and she kind of her spirit and her kind of comes and goes. But this is a place where a lot of different wood folk and druids and members of the Emerald Enclave themselves they come here to congregate. As you show up, it looks very empty. Compared to where normally you do see 1 or 2 druids, one of which you know extremely well, and his name is Raylan, Relan. And he's an older elf, and you see that he's kind of, at this point, looking around, he would probably be the senior person, and he's someone that you know and has actually studied under. And you, like I said, this place is normally pretty busy, and right now it's pretty empty.
I'm going to say, Master Raylan, may I have a moment of your time?
Oh, yes, of course.
There has been a murder in the town that I'm from, just outside Undercliff. I'm sure you're aware of it.
I heard the news this morning.
I was there, and I found evidence of, and I'm going to tell him what we found. You know, a small creature, very strong, very wide feet. Describe the smell, the ability to shift dimensions and planes. And this happened on Fey Day. And
now I don't. What you said about the boot print, the wide boot print. Now I have a belief of what it is, but the problem is that the whole teleporting would not fit unless it had help in doing so. But I believe it's something called a red cap. It's this very evil, murderous fey creature that is not normally seen in these parts, but they're quite adept at killing. Small, gnome size.
interesting. Is there any more on them in the library here?
Oh, sure. You can go and study up on them as well.
Okay, I'm going to go look on it.
Okay.
I'm going to thank him first time.
Right. You go and you read how they are very, they're notoriously evil, and And a lot of times they're sometimes sought out and used as almost like assassins or
Yeah. Okay, so somebody hired this thing.
possibly, yeah. This would be a thug or someone that is an
Not a
underling.
mastermind.
He's an underling. They're extremely quick. They're extremely quick.
Can the books be borrowed?
Yes. You're
right,
in the
I'm gonna-
guild. It's a privilege.
I'm going to take the book with me and head back to town. Normally, not,
Right. It's a
Take a little bit
library
more
for
time.
the members, so you take it for light reading. So you take the
I'm
time
saying I'm not cheetahing back. I'm
walking back.
going to try to catch a ride or somebody heading that way.
Sure. You can catch the back of a cart as you're
You're
leaving.
not gonna do like the book in the cheetah's mouth going.
Right. All right. So as you are heading back, there's a cart coming into town. You see the giant turtle riding on the cart, being pulled by the donkey. As you,
I want to flag him down. Yeah.
he goes, "Whoa!" and you hear the donkey like stop, and he goes, "Yes, what is it?"
I'm going to hop up on the cart next to him, open up the book, and point out and say, "I think this is the culprit.
Was that a gnome? What is that?
It's called a red cap.
I've
It's
never-
a hireling.
someone. You think this is a hit?
It would seem. Did you have any luck with the clergy reading?
No, I'm just on my way to do that now.
I'll ride with him.
Okay. All right. So you ride with them. Now, this is going to take a better part of the day, just to kind of, for brevity's sake, y'all move forward into the Temple of Helm, and you see Barnabas go up, Barnabas Walker, the turtle.
Oh, Barnabas Walker.
Barnabas
Oh.
Walker, of course. He walks up and he hands one of the clergy some money. They kind of trade information back and forth. The priest comes over, lays his hand on the poor dead boy, and he goes, "No, what question would you like to ask him?"
To this, I would say, well, I believe you should be the one for this. I'm just here for observation.
Walker says, "Well, ask the poor chap, what did this to him?" And they ask, and you see the mouth of this boy start to like mutter words, and you say, "It was a gnome."
And I'm gonna look at him and nod.
And he goes, "Was it only one, or did you see more?" And you see voice that goes, "I saw many dark elves moving about the wood."
That seems strange. Now, Undercliff has an entrance to the Underdark, correctly?
No, that is actually back in the Yawning Portal, which is in Waterdeep itself.
Okay. But there is something close by that.
Correct. Yeah. But you were in the Yawning Portal last night. Nothing came in or out of it.
Okay. Ask him, did it wear a red hat?
Yes.
Okay. Did you?
Poor guy's just a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. He's being accused of murder.
Did you surprise it, or did it seem to be coming for you?
I didn't know it was there.
Why would it be going to the stables? I think we need to talk to. I think we need to talk to the owner, Hank,
Okay.
about anything that's recently changed with him, whether or not he's acquired any new livestock, bought any new property, hired any new hands. What has changed to draw the attention of something?
Okay.
I was thinking, you think Hank made some money off of this?
So Walker looks over at you and goes, "Well, you head back to town. I've got to go pick up a casket and bring it back to Miss Amblewood."
Now, I'm assuming you're with the Waterdeep Rangers?
Oh no, I'm just a hired hand.
Okay. All right.
Walker, Total Ranger.
Gotcha. Okay. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And then I'll take the book with me and head back towards town.
Okay. All right. So with that, you two part ways. He goes to shop for a casket in Waterdeep. You head back out to the town. Now at this point, it's getting later in the day. It's later afternoon. Now, what have y'all been doing? It's been a couple of hours at this point. Y'all kind of searched the area. What's Lorix wanting to do at this point?
I think at a certain point, Lorix just kind of sat down and was waiting for Gordon to return. Like he waited there for the better part of the day, and he never came back.
Vimic?
First thing I want to do is these 4 pillars are like the only things that are not in ruins over here. So that's kind of got me thinking. I don't know, maybe it's just coincidence, right? But I want to pick up like a pine cone or a stick and just throw it in the middle of the 4 pillars. Okay. Just to see if anything weird happens.
You throw the pine cone, you throw the stick, and outside of a curious glance by the dwarf, you don't see anything else happen.
Right. Now, I'm
you okay, pal?
Playing toss the stick.
Vimic, you think we should go searching for that halfling we were looking for last night?
Yeah. Ooh,
I forget we got carried away and we just ended up drinking the night away. I don't recall seeing the halfling at any point.
That's a good idea. We can start to head that way, or as we're going, I want to look at this boulder, or the round spherical thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's a catapult stone, Mr. Vimic.
As you're looking about, you see, as you're looking at that and looking at the 4 pillars, you find a second boulder similar to it on the other side of the pillars.
Is it like symmetrical?
It's not symmetrical.
Okay. These things, they look pretty heavy, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't move one.
Well.
Or could he?
Could Hulk out and try.
You would try?
Play some marbles with
big old rock?
Trebuchet. And balls.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll Hulk out.
I just want to see if he can do it.
All right. So at this point, you grow in stature. You use your giant's ability. As you grow, your strength comes with you as well. You reach down and you grab this boulder, and with it only takes a moment for you to go, and it starts to budge, and you actually pull it out of its crater, and you roll it over to the side. You actually are able to pull it out of the hole that it was in.
Okay, is there anything underneath it?
It just looks like old dirt. Like this thing has been there a very long time.
Okay. I'm just practicing for the strongman competition. That's
right.
You did well. You did well. You have to put it on top of the pillar, though.
Maybe.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
What do they call those? The Atlas stones?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
All right. So it just looks like it's been here naturally, not like it's been moved.
Mm-mm.
Okay, gotcha. I think that's a good idea for him to go find the halfling, because as far as we know, she never came. It was a she, right?
Yeah, Willow.
She never came. Yeah.
Okay. All right. With that, you guys leave. You head back. Now, y'all are hungry. It's well past lunch. It's later in the afternoon. You start heading back
Back into the tavern.
Heading back to the tavern. At that point, Lorix, you stop and you look down and you can hear the voice of Miles coming out of your ring. Lorix, I need you back to the manor as fast as possible.
Vimic, we have to go back to the manor. I'm being summoned.
It's fine. Either way.
We change our course and we start heading back towards the manor.
Okay. So with that, you two head back to the manor. At this point, Corden, you have made it back into town. What do you want to do?
Am I in town when they arrive, or are they?
They're already back up at the manor, which is on the outside of town. It's basically like this big. Let me give you I forgot I have a.
Boys back in town.
Yeah, we're in Undercliff. Okay, so just outside of town, like overlooking this, is the manor itself, and that is where we're gonna pick up. When everyone has converged back at the Hothamore Manor. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll meet them up there. I mean, Walker's gone. I don't know where they're at. So
right. So at this point, you all are back in the manor, and you are meeting with Miles and also with Saradwin, which is this elder elven lady, which is kind of his right hand.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah. So you've spent a lot of time with her, and so as soon as you get home, they welcome you, and they look. He goes, you come in and you see Miles, your uncle, looking. He goes, Gordon, we've been looking for you. Did Joan not find you? Now, Joan is one of the handmaidens. You must have missed her in all of the going back and forth, but apparently Miles sent Joan to go find you this morning.
I've been moving at an extremely rapid pace. I doubt that she could have caught up with me.
Oh, understood. So, I've had my servants prepare dinner for us before the night's activities.
Activities?
Well, yes. Didn't you know? Well, I don't know if you remember me talking about the prophecies and all the things, and you telling me about this comet, the Oskian comet that is coming by. Well, it seems that our Goliath friend, do you remember the horn that we recovered? It's the horn of the Oskian dynasty, hopefully the Beravan dynasty. We believe that this horn would call in the Oathsworn of the Beravans, and this Goliath actually answered the call, and he came here and he brought. Well, Vivek, show him what you brought. You actually brought it.
At this point, hang on. Before he pulls it out, I've always kind of humored Miles, kind of thing, like because it wasn't ever my.
It's a
interest.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but when I found the whole comet thing and he seemed to know something about it, I was a little curious then. But now that he's saying this, I'm like, this is weird. What's going on?
The Goliath has traveled very far away to be here, all at the spine of the world, and show him what you brought.
I'll pull it out, and it's kind of like like a vase kind of thing almost.
Well, it's like it's a metal torch, and you've got all of these phoenix feathers tucked in the top of it that are blue, and as soon as he pulls it out of the bag, they're ignited. And there's like these blue, there's probably about 8 or so of these phoenix feathers that are it's basically like a bouquet of phoenix feathers that are burning.
Like, this is what I was tasked with bringing to the Sovereign.
How do you know of this Sovereign legend?
Know very little. My tribe, my clan, we had a competition to see who had to have the opportunity to go get the Flame of the Giant's Maw. I won it, and then I climbed a mountain, and went in there, battled a blue phoenix, retrieved it, and brought it back to the elders of my village, and they said that I am to take it to basically here to answer the call of the Sovereign. That's know very little as well.
I'm going to turn around and look at Miles and be like, did you put him up to this?
No, that's the part of the legend. The legend says that in the time of the Beravans, they had many allies, the Oathsworn, and that one day that they would call upon their Oathsworn to help them. And, well, when we found this horn and we believed it was from the Beravan dynasty, we blew the horn, and this Goliath answered the call.
I'm extremely skeptical, but this is really weird. So I'm like, okay. And then for the sake of storytelling, let's say that I have made more recent discoveries with the star map. And I'll say, well, let me show you this. I know that you've always taken an interest in my studies, and you're the one who pointed me towards astronomy. And at first, I was more interested in the druidic arts than the astronomy, but I made some very, very interesting discoveries as of late. There's so much information that's ignored in the stars that I've been learning from masters at the Emerald Enclave, and I think I've seen something that you might want to see. And I'm going to basically hold up the buckler to the light and let the light shine through it and shine onto the floor because it shows light basically through it, and point out the stars and say, the comet, if we did the math, the comet will be here shortly. I can't really tell, but the last time it was here, from the calculations that we did, was you have to tell. I don't
about
remember.
5,000 years ago. It was during the time of the Baravons.
Exactly 5,000 years ago. Now, I don't know if I told you that recently, but that was my latest finding, and tell me what you think about that.
It's astounding. It just lines up to the finding of the horn and the calling of the Oathsworn, and now that we have this flame, I think we may be seeing the return of the Sovereign.
What's next?
I don't know.
It can't all be coincidence.
Well, I had a thought. It may not work, but you know those ruins outside of town? I showed you to them when we were younger. That's the only thing that I believe, that's the oldest point of the ruins of Waterdeep. It's actually there. I believe it is. Maybe we should take the flame there.
That is where the attacker at the stables entered our realm.
Well, the Baravons had many enemies. I did not know they had enemies that would come from other realms.
Let's take it there before it gets dark.
Well, no, we should have dinner.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we need to be there after dark. Not until we know what's going on.
Well, you best hurry. Here, take some fruit with you.
You're not coming?
No, I believe this is for you. I will watch from Ceridwen. And Ceridwen pulls out. Miles never leaves the manor. He believes everyone's out to kill him. And Ceridwen kind of backs that. So he sends other people to do his business. But he watches everything through this orb that Ceridwen has.
We have enough time. I'll ask, do we have enough time to get there and back? Or to at least get there before dark, or is it approaching night?
If you hurry, you can get there before nightfall.
Okay.
Specifically, the point between dawn and dusk is a particularly magical time, too, so I think it's better to be there then.
Yeah.
You want to be there during dusk. All right, well, we should hurry. If we're going to miss dinner, we might as well get there as quickly as possible.
So Joan and brings out, not Joan, I'm sorry, the other
Ceridwen?
Ceridwen. So the handmaidens, they come out, they hand you, some bread and some fruit. And they also hand each of you a tankard to kind of chug down before you leave. They fill up your wine skins and then quickly head your way. You haven't eaten all day. You don't realize you've been so into the investigation that you're just famished. So you scarf down some quick food and then you head out that way. Is there anything that y'all want to do before we leave the manor?
Do you have to pick spells for?
Yes, you have to know which spells you have prepared. I believe. Check your character sheet when they're already there.
Yeah, I mean, I really only have 3 cantrips and healing word Guiding bolt, but guiding bolt I just know because of the class.
Right.
So I don't think I know any. Did I not pick any other first
You
level
must not have picked them.
spells? Must not. Okay, well, whatever. We're good.
We'll pick it up later. We'll ad lib it if we need it. Okay. So right now we'll just say you know what you know, and then we'll pick it up later. All right. So at this point you all head out back over to the ruins, and you're going to get there right about dusk. At that point you head back up. You look over and you pass by the Amcathras. The horses are all back out. There's a lot of stable hands out. They're lighting torches and braziers and things before the sun goes down. They seem to be on alert because you hear them talking about there's been several adventuring parties that have kind of come through this road, like heading out, hunting these cat beasts. And they still believe there's a lot of them still out there picking off livestock. So they're very protective of the horses. They don't want to lose any more of their horses. And with that, is there anything y'all want to do as you're passing the Amcathras?
I do want to stop briefly and talk to Hank and be like, Hank, I don't want to sound confrontational, but if there's anything that's changed in your possession, power, enemies, friends over the last 2 months, we really need to know what's going on.
No, business as usual. I mainly trade with the city guard.
Has anybody tried to, other than my uncle, tried to buy the land off of you, make any offers for anything?
No, and you tell your uncle I don't want to sell.
I know. He doesn't listen.
No. You believe you've got something?
Okay.
Do you know what happened to poor Maury?
Somebody came here specifically. Like, it wasn't
But for him?
Coincidence. I don't believe that Maury was the target. I just believe that he interrupted whatever the red cap was doing, and I'm going to drop that name and see if he reacts in any way.
Doesn't know what that is. He goes, well, perhaps we should hire some extra hands and guards. I'll see to it.
Very well.
Okay.
And I'll just turn and leave.
Gordon,
Lorix?
I was just as Hank goes back in, just lean forward. Gordon, we should probably go if we're going to get there before dusk.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. All right. So you head back up to the ruins. You kind of push through the brush. It's darker here because the sun is not directly over, so there's a lot of shadows being cast around now as we're at the very end part of the day, as we're heading into dusk itself. You pull into the ruins and you look around, and it feels very different now than it did earlier. There's something about the way the light is hitting the trees and the shadows. It feels way spookier than it did during the day. It's just a weird just how the shadows just play off the stones and everything. And you look around, everything just feels odd. And just different. And you were only here just a couple of hours ago, but it's just the difference. Like, if you've ever walked around an old house in the middle of the day, it's no big deal. You go there at dusk or at night, the light,
it becomes spoopy.
It just becomes
very
spooky. Yeah, you just become on edge, right?
Very spoopy.
You're right.
Yeah,
right.
Spoopiest.
All right, and so as y'all are moving into this, Vimic, what are you doing?
I'll pull out the flame. And I suppose we're at the four pillars?
Yes.
Or the ruins, right. I'll look over at Corden and say, I believe your star map might be of use here? I knew earlier it had some weird things with light. I don't know if...
like the way maybe he can put the torch somewhere where it casts a shadow.
I can put the torch behind the shield and shine it into the middle of the pillars. And
so at this point, y'all are just y'all are playing. It sounds like y'all are trying to push buttons. So you've got the torch out. You're playing around with the star map. You're looking around. You're basically trying to Legend of Zelda or whatever. Just whatever. It's anything that pushes or anything that happens. I get the sense. And as you get closer, the torch, as you pull it into the middle of what's left of these ruins. It really illuminates everything, and there seems to be like this quiet that comes over. And Corden, you look, and out of the corner of your eye, you look up as the sun has gone down and the stars are coming to come out. You kind of think there's not a lot of light pollution as you get further out, so you can see the stars, more evident. You actually see the comet crossing overhead as you look. You catch it out of the corner of your eye. You see the comet coming over as you're holding up the torch itself. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear this very still, small voice, this female voice, call out and look around, and you hear this voice, "Hello? Hello?
It's me."
I'll answer the call and say, "Who is this?"
Who are you?"
Do you hear this voice?
Yes, everyone hears the voice.
I'm gonna put the flame down and be like, "Telemarketer." No.
I asked you first.
I am Corden. Who might you be?
Elanus.
Does this name ring a bell?
History check.
Okay. Okay. 10.
I'm going to give this to you just because somehow, some way you know this because your uncle spoke with us a lot. Elanus is the name of one of the Baravons. But you don't recall anything other than that. You just know that it was the name of one of the Baravons.
At this point, I gotta think, who's playing a joke on me? I'm gonna call out and say, whose idea of his joke is this?
There's no reply. Lorix, what are you doing? You hear the voice.
I'm gonna start just searching around the ruins again. See if I actually see where this voice is coming from or anything else suspicious.
You're walking around and you see. I'll give you the aerial view here. So these are the ruins, and you're walking. This is you out here. Well, you know what? We'll just go ahead and get so everybody knows where they're at. Vimic, you're in the middle. Whoa, Vimic is.
And these are the 4 pillars.
Yes.
Whoa.
Why are you so big? And then is Corden going to be huge? Nope. And then Vimic. I don't need another Vimic. Sorry, I need a Lorix. Lorix is so big.
I'm Lorix.
All right, you're on the outside.
Can't move me.
No, you've changed from the Lorix to the Lorax.
I am now the Lorax.
Hang on. All right, you should be able to move it now.
I can't move anything.
I can move it.
Can't. Hang on. Save settings. I don't know why I didn't save. All right, everybody can move their tokens.
Good question,
now.
sir.
All right, everyone can move their tokens now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So at this point, Lorix, you're walking around the perimeter. The voice seems to be coming from inside whatever the stone structure is. There's no roof. It's just the outside, like the walls, maybe 4.5, 5 feet tall.
All right, I'll step over.
Okay, it's more of a climb for you.
Oh. Athletics?
As the dwarf makes himself over the wall. All right, and with that, you got it. All right.
That's over. All right.
All right, so you leap over the wall. You land as you're looking around, and the voice has gone quiet. Corden, what are you doing?
I need to not fail checks. So what I'm going to do now is going to look a little odd. My character is going to go semi-translucent and starry-like.
Okay.
and I'm going to take the form of the. What was the name of it? Hang on.
To the dragon.
Yes, the dragon.
So you turn into the constellation of the dragon. So your
Yeah,
body
there's certain stars in my being that are burning brighter than the others.
right. So you turn into this translucent, and the light starts beaming off of you, and between
They only burn half as long.
and between the light coming off of Corden and the light of the Phoenix Flame as well, this whole place is just completely illuminated as it gets dark. What are you after you make that turn? What else are you doing, Corden?
I'm going to insight check her.
Sure.
Okay, so let me read the way that this works. When you make int or wisdom checks, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Okay.
And this is a wisdom check.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a 10 plus my 5, so it's 15.
She is being truthful with the state that her name is Alanis. You feel that she's being truthful.
So this person is who she says she is.
Yes.
In her. Okay. Where are you?
You called me. I'm here.
Physically here? You see us?
Yes.
We don't see you.
Oh, I am but a memory at this point.
Okay.
What can you tell us? What came here to murder that boy?
What? I know nothing of that.
What can you tell us about the Sovereign?
Oh, that was the name of my family.
So your line was the Sovereign.
Yes.
Does...
I'm going to tell her that I am Vimic of the Valunavi tribe. I am the bearer of the flame of the giant's maw. I have answered the call of the oath scorn.
Valunavi.
Yes.
Oh. My mother and my father, they were friends with the Valunavi.
It seems, are you aware of the prophecy of the horn being blown and the oath sworn?
Yes, I remember when it was crafted.
I believe that time is now. We have come here with the flame of the giant's maw. We believe this time is beginning. I'll be like, tell her about the comet.
Yeah. I'll show the constellation. I'll use my starry form to kind of basically illuminate in myself and show her what's going on.
Ah. So you will be the first of the new Yoskayan.
Who?
You three.
Yoskayan.
We're not even the same family. How can we be...
Yoskayan was sworn. They were the knights. Our knights, our protectors.
Okay, who are we
Not really
protecting?
much of a protector.
Well, my family and the dynasty.
Is your family still alive?
I was the last.
Well, then we can't protect them very well now, can we?
You could bring me back.
Bring you back?
How would we do that?
Why would we do that?
More importantly, why would we do that?
And he gets quiet.
Look, I'm not saying we're opposed to it, but I need to know why.
We were wrongfully killed and
You may know.
stamped out by our enemies.
I think you can fill up many ledgers on people who were wrongfully killed. There needs to be more reason than just that.
I was there when the city was built.
Corden, your uncle is going to want to hear about this.
Yes, that's what I'm afraid of.
How can we help you? What, give a how can we help you come back?
You'd start by rebuilding my home.
Are we standing in your home right now?
Yes.
Who would know how to rebuild it?
Your dwarf friend should know. The dwarves built it.
If we build it, she will come.
Yes.
If you rebuild my home, I will at least aid you with my knowledge.
This interests me.
I know your uncle. Just a little bit, but I know he will be very keen to help, it seems.
Can we talk to you again?
Only after the house is built.
Okay. Thank you for talking to us. We'll be in touch.
Who is your uncle?
His name is Miles.
What's his last
I
name?
asked the questions here.
The last name?
Go on. I don't have my notes next to me.
I'm gonna look at Lorax and be like, do we think this wise?
What? Telling her that the name is what is the name?
Hothamore.
Trevor?
Hothamore.
Yeah.
What? Telling her whether or not we should tell her that his name is Hothamore?
Hothamore. Lord Hothamore was in our court.
Oops.
Is he also a Julius Skyan? Was he a protector as well, a knight?
No, noble. They were part of the nobility.
Actually part of the family.
Council.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is a lot to take in. I always thought my uncle was kind of crazy.
How do we rebuild your home? Brick by brick, or is there a magical means?
Simply rebuild it.
All right. Well, it's late. I'm not starting tonight. Vimic, will you help me in the morning? I'll need some
Absolutely.
strengthy assistance. I guess I could phrase it.
Absolutely. Should we report back to Miles?
Wait.
Yeah.
I suppose we should.
You hear the
And
voice
sleep.
reach out. Goes, wait. We aren't alone.
Okay. I'm gonna look around.
I'm gonna sheathe the torch real fast.
Okay.
And just start scanning.
You quickly look around. From this corner here, you see a little kobold head look over and duck back, and you hear the running off.
Pitter patter.
I run after him.
All right, you turn the corner, you look out,
Stumpy feet.
and you see a dragonborn rushing out of the woods after you with his giant sword, and you hear him say, "Kill the necromancers!" And with that, we'll pick up next week.
That's all.
We'll pick up next week for episode 3. We'll have a hot start as the dragonborn is going to kill the necromancers.
How dare that Dragonborn and his koboldy crew?
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a night of sleuthing, and we'll pick up next week for episode 3 as there seems to be someone who's been dropping eaves and wants to kill whoever's talking to the dead in the middle of the night. So we'll
Not
pick
my
up.
Eves.